Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a little small episode of Insane Disappearances. Today, I want to give my opinion on the Missing 411 movie that I received yesterday afternoon. Um, First and foremost, I um, read some of the comments about the movie from other people from across the country, and it were very good, very good comments or reviews. A lot of people said that there wasn't enough content in the movie. Some people said that it could have been, done a lot better, and the movie could have been a lot longer. Um, Now, if you're looking for a certain, if you're looking for a certain, um, looking for certain ideals in the movie, depending on what your passion is. My passion is towards the cases itself with the children and the loved ones. So my perception on the movie is, of course, going to be a lot different from everyone else's. Um, I actually liked the movie, and that is only because I understand. I partially understand why, why David Paulides made the movie the way he did, and I'm thinking this is my personal opinion. I'm thinking it had a lot to do with the fact that he's had so many run-ins with the NPS, FBI, and the government alone when it came to certain cases. And I don't mean all, but certain cases. Namely the oh, excuse me, the Stacey Harris case. Now, for all of you that either do or don't know, when he first found out about the case, he realized that she lived just a couple of clicks away from him, like in the next town over. So she was pretty close. She was in his backyard, and it hit close to home. So he went after the case, and he got as much as he could, but he wanted to get her files, the files on her case, and the National Park Service would not give it to him. He tried. He contacted his congressman, and they, for some reason, couldn't get in touch with it. It's almost like whoever is at the top of the National Park Service has more power than the government alone. I don't know, because um, it's just weird. So the movie itself, it talks mainly about the Dio Kuntz story, well, the Dio Kuntz case, the Billy, the Bobby Bishop case, the Jerry Adedero case, and I believe, let me see, I wrote his name down in my book because I was planning to talk about him in my next segment. Let me see, give me 1 second here. Here, oh yeah, the Dale Stelling case. Um, it was probably like maybe 3 or 4 cases that he kept flipping back and forth with. He'll go from one case to another, and then he'll add commentary from the National Park Service rangers and Les Stroud. You heard a little bit from uh, George Knapp, and you can hear David Paulides narrating, in the background, about some of the cases. Now, my perception on the movie is I think he did a pretty bang up job, and I only say that because he knows that there's only but so much he could say with a live video type movie dealing with the cases, because a book is one thing, but a DVD is an entirely different, um, an entirely different entity, because we're talking about visual aid here. I'm talking about live video where you're capturing not only the detailed information that was in the book, but or partially detailed information that was in the book, but you're capturing the emotion coming from the families, the friends, and the parents. And that is a big seller in this movie because that is going to pull a lot of people in. You're going to see just as much from that movie as far as what you saw in the book. Yes, the book was more detailed and it talked a lot about, parameters and the topography, of the areas that these people have disappeared in. It talks about the evidence surrounding the deaths of the people that were found after they went missing for a certain amount of days. It talks about all of that, but in the movie, it's different because you're actually there. You're in the area of where they were found. You're in the area where they disappeared. That you're in the area of the emotion that was carried out by the families and the parents. So I think that right there was an excellent idea. Now, should there have been more? Yes, but you got to look at it from his standpoint. If he puts too much information out there about the National Park Service and the government and the FBI, he could cause a bureaucratic storm, I would imagine, and cause a lot of problems for himself. Not saying he couldn't handle it, but still, there's only so much he could probably say anyway, because he's already said enough in the books, and he already gets a lot of slack from that because of what the National Park Service does. I mean, they're telling him that in order for him to get the information from the National Park Service, and I mean all of the information dealing with the cases of people who disappeared in their parks, it would cost him $1.4 million. Okay, now to get a list of people who disappeared in certain parks, or just one, that's $34,000. Okay, so he did what he was supposed to do, because he even said in one of the comments on his Facebook page that he was only allowed to sell the DVD on his website, and I'm guessing the reason why is because they didn't want those DVDs to get out too much. First of all, because it would cause a lot of uproar with the National Park Service and the government, the federal government, the FBI, all of them. So having it sold in a small, in a small way, like on a website, is, how can I put this? I'm guessing it's just a lot better, because if you put it out there in the stores, everybody's gonna get it. That means everybody's gonna be aware of what's going on in these national parks. You put it on the website, not everybody's gonna. I'm guessing that not everybody's gonna order it, because it's not out there. There's no PR people to tell you about the movie. He is the only one that's telling you about the movie, so it's only given to a chosen few, and that chosen few are the ones that actually read the books or listen to him on the radio, with his interviews. Okay, so if the whole world was to find out about it, can you imagine the press that story, that DVD would get about what's going on? I'm not saying they don't already know, but still, there is a level to the madness. I don't think they want it to get too much publicity. That's what it is. They don't want it to get too much publicity. It's one thing to get publicity for the ones that actually follow him in what he does, and those people are the ones that listen to him on the radio. Those people are the ones that buy his books. Those people are the ones that follow him on his Facebook page. That is a small batch of people. Now, we're talking about the entire planet here. If that DVD was to get out in the stores, it would look too good for the National Park Service, let alone the federal government, because they would see what's going on. They would see how they do. And imagine the entire planet finding out about how the Park Service treated a family who lost someone in their park, and they just seemingly vanished without a trace, and there's no evidence to state that anything else other than that happened. Okay, they know these things. That's the reason why he had to do what he had to do. He could only put but so much information on that DVD, because think about it, he's already put enough out there with the books. Why should he have to put just this much in the DVD? Because that would be one heck of a DVD. That would be a lot of detail. That would be a lot. That would be a lot more than what he should have to even put up there. Because, like I said, we already read the books. We heard him on the radio. Okay, we've seen him at conventions in Australia. What more would you actually need? That's my opinion. Because the DVD, it serves its purpose with the amount that's already on there. Because even though we already know about these cases, to me personally, I would think that he would put some new cases on there that hasn't made it to the book yet, or some that he's talked about on the radio but never made it to the book yet. Okay, but he's got like he's like what 6 books. That's a couple of thousand cases compiled into 6 books. Okay, so like I said, the DVD is like a version of his book, but just a little bit lighter. It's not as much detail, but like I said, you don't need all that detail when you actually there. You're seeing all the detail. You're seeing all the detail with your own eyes. You're seeing the land, the area where they disappeared at. You're seeing the mountains. You're seeing the trees. You're seeing the area where they disappeared at. You're seeing the emotion of the people. You're seeing how it affects everyone. It affects me just to look at it, because I feel for these people. You know, I have a soft spot for children. You know, I have a child myself. I have a daughter, so you know that I can feel their pain. I wouldn't want that to happen to my child. You know, she's 16 years old, but still, that's still my daughter. You know, and so I have a stake in all this as far as my feelings towards what they're going through and what they're still going through to this day. We're talking about most of these the stories in this DVD dates back all the way to the 50s, okay, which is when it all happened with most of the stories. You know, you got some dated back to 2015, like D. or Kunz. Or was it? No, 2016. I'm sorry. Yeah, was it? Either 2015 or 2016. But the point is that I personally like the movie because of the passion I have for the stories itself, the cases dealing with these people that vanished, which is the reason why I have this channel in the first place. Okay, you know, I felt like I could do my part in getting the word out there, just like my interview with Catherine Van Alst, which had some pretty big hits, you know, within the past 10 to 12 hours. You know, so I really want to thank you guys for watching my video and sending me your comments throughout the night. You know, I read all of them, and I tried to comment as much as possible because I was at work at the time. So I want to apologize personally for the the quality of the sound. I think I know I could have done better, but I was so excited about the interview. I did check the sound, but I didn't thoroughly check it like I normally do. You know, I always do a test video first, and then I do a second one just to see how my voice sounds. And if it sounds crystal clear, then I know I got what I need. I didn't do that, so when we got started with the interview, it was a little too late at that point. So, you know, but but it still got a lot of views, so that's good. And it got a lot of I got some likes, you know. But the point is, everybody watched it, so I'm glad about that. I'm glad you guys liked it. But yeah, I personally think he did a good job, and yeah, he could have had a lot more. He could have added a lot more to it, but I think he added enough. I really do, because you can only do so much with a DVD, and you can only do so much with the information. And he's already put out plenty of information in the books. You know, people who love to read, well, read the book. People who love to watch DVDs, that makes it even better, because you're grabbing a bigger audience with DVDs, because people love to watch movies. So that's a seller right there. Okay, people go out, they get the DVD, bam, you put it in your house, you watch it on your flat screen, and you're good to go. You know, so You know, but I mean, there's not really too much I can say about it because, like I said, I like the movie. I think he did a bang up job with the details, and you know, there was a lot of special effects that he had to add to it, and I think the special effects was just basically the animation of the land itself. You know, it pretty much did its own job. You know, with the streams flowing and the trees and all that stuff, all that scenery was beautiful. You know, but yeah, that's my opinion on the movie itself. I liked it. I know there are some people that didn't like it, you know, and then some. One person actually told me don't waste my money on it, but I had already paid for it, so there was really nothing I can do at that point. But and I mean, what else? What else can I say? I did like it, you know, personally. So, you know, and I think mainly is because I have my channel, so I can respect what he did, you know, with the information that he put into the DVD. He had a lot of people that was involved, like Les Stroud, you know, and you know I was surprised that I was surprised to even find out that he was a part of it because he doesn't deal with that. He deals with the wilderness and you know and stuff like that. He's doing the whole Bigfoot thing, but still, you know, he had some you know credible things to say, you know, so. You know, and as far as what they're doing with the Dior Kunz family, it's still really wrong. I mean, because I believe that they had nothing to do with it. They weren't nowhere near him. I wouldn't say that the grandfather had something to do with it, let alone their friend. And I'll be honest with you. That guy looked a little, you know, he had some missing teeth. It was brown. His teeth was brown. You know, he had some real deep set in eyes, and he just looked kind of creepy. So I can understand why people think that he may have had something to do with Dior Kunz's death because he had like a sex charge that he had to get through. So that makes you think that maybe he took the child and molested him. I would hope that didn't happen because I don't think it did. I don't think none of them had anything to do with it. I think he just vanished without a trace. You know? Excuse me. There isn't too many things that a person can actually prove when a child just vanishes off the face of the earth. You know, and I've said before that Jessica actually, you know, his mother would actually hear his voice even after he was gone. You know, he would be calling out her name and stuff like that. You know, so I know that's hard for her, and the fact that they're hounding her as well as Dior Kunz, you know, senior, it's just wrong. But you know, parents, like he said in the movie, the parents are the number one suspect when it comes to a child, you know, turning up missing. So, you know, it is what it is. That's the law. But anyway, that's my time. I hope that this video actually gave you some insight on why David Paulides' movie was made the way it was. Like I said before, there's only so much he could say because he doesn't want to add more fuel to the fire when he already talks about all this stuff enough, especially when it comes to the National Park Service or the FBI. You know, even the Green Berets. I don't think he mentioned anything about the Green Berets showing up. He probably did because they showed up. You know, I think in some of the cases that's when they showed up. I can't remember which one he said that. I think it was the Jared Adedero case. Oh, excuse me, guys. You know, it's early in the morning. I got off of work around like 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little fatigued right now. But anyway, once again, I'm gonna be adding some more videos sometime today, so stay tuned for that. And I'll get back at you guys later. You know how I do it. Aloha, mahalo, and a hui hou. Peace out, guys.